broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Oh, yeah. I love this music! Hey! Hey, everybody!
I'm getting the hang of it.
I'm so proud of you. Welcome back to another Mysteries of Laura after show here on AfterBuzz TV. As you see, we are missing a James Lott Jr. He's visiting Mama Lott. I'm hoping that's her name, but we all know that he's just having a good time. But don't forget to tweet him at Black Hope LA. Oh! Oh, we got some more mute music going on.
That was a tribute to James Lott Jr.
Just for James. Just for you, buddy.
Yeah.
We're talking about episode 4 today, and I am your host, Alexis Torres, and you can find me all over social media as atorres890, but I can't do this alone. I have the most attractive man next to me. His name is Cameron Lewis.
I mean, that's quite an intro. Hey, everybody. Cameron Lewis here at the only Camshaft Twitter and Instagram.
The only.
And you can check me out here at AfterBuzz, a couple different shows. I'll tell you at the end of the show. I'll tell you where to find me at the end of the show.
I thought it was at the only Camshaft.
No, I told him that, but I mean the other shows I do here at AfterBuzz.
Oh my gosh!
I got to tease one at the end.
But I was very pleased with this episode. I know I giggled when I said that, but it was just there was a lot of things happening because I was really happy because I got to see like determined Laura, but at the same time also got to see a little bit of Laura Drake action.
I'm just saying, whenever sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, and we also figured out freaking oh gosh, I'm forgetting their names off the top of my head right now. We'll come back to it.
The people who are murdered?
No. Our other two cops.
Meredith and Billy and Meredith, right?
Yes. There you go. I was like, I know Billy. I don't remember.
Meredith.
Yeah. Meredith. Mm-hmm. That they are officially, we know that they're a couple now.
Yeah.
Yes.
According to Laura.
No. He said at the very end that you're my girl.
But I mean, I at first, when we started the episode, I was like, this is, I don't know, accusations. But it was confirmed.
Nope.
We started this episode with a flash forward scene for half a second.
Which was weird.
We thought we were like...
If you guys could see what we look like when we hit play, we're like, wait, what? Are we in the middle of the episode with somebody watching Mysteries of Laura before we did? What is happening?
And I got to see...
We got a Quentin Tarantino director happening here.
I got to see Debra Messing deliver a line twice that turns me on.
No, for real.
Drop it! Drop it now!
I think you said it a little bit more manlier than she did. But I loved how she was shaking when she was delivering her line.
Not something you'd see on Will and Grace.
Well, maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe, I don't know. I haven't watched that show in forever.
Good episode tonight, though.
It was. We obviously got to, speaking of more playing with the past, we definitely got to see Captain Hauser. I know you haven't seen season 1, but that case was pretty... Oof.
Yeah.
So, so we got to see him. He's obviously in jail, but he's been calling and leaving messages for Laura because he had some information about Tommy the Irishman and the case that was a cold case back in the day. And as soon as I heard his voice, I was just like, I don't like where this is going. But it was completely different than what I was expecting.
Did you know it was his voice?
Yeah. Also,
that's interesting.
I also cheated a little bit.
What does that mean?
Because the caption said Hauser.
Oh.
The line came up.
I thought you were going to be like, I saw this 3 weeks ago.
No.
It's like, what the hell?
No. I have a future DVR.
Who you been talking to?
I have a future DVR. It only records the future.
Can you imagine?
No, because I would never leave my house.
Somebody patents that.
Do it.
They're going to be rich. That's all I'm saying.
But yeah, so we had to deal with that same Sarah Price and Gary West, Thomas Mullen, case or whatever that we were dealing with. That obviously went cold, but it was awesome to actually have something that they can reopen and go through again.
Yeah, I agree. And I actually consciously thought of something while watching this one.
What did you think?
I was kind of, here's the thing. I don't really typically like crime shows. I like this show. And
awesome.
so over the last couple of episodes, I've thought to myself, why do I like it?
Okay.
Like, what is the
I've
actual
never asked
reason?
you this question, so I'm really glad that you're bringing this up.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes, I like Debra Messing. She's a great actress. She just plays a great character.
Phenomenal.
That is definitely one thing. But I think I got it. It's because every episode, at least so far this season, has been about one crime. And a lot of these other shows, like CSI and NCIS, have an A, B, and runner that are all 3 crimes and not really personal stories and stuff. So each of these episodes, Mystery Laura, there is the crime, and then there's the Jake and Laura storyline, or the Laura and whatever, the Meredith and Billy. But it's not 3 crimes. So it's like,
yeah, because
it's a breath.
Because Castle's kind of the same way sometimes, where we will kind of have like the main crime that happens through like sprinkled throughout the season, and then there's like little monsters of the week kind of stuff as well. So that's kind of interesting. I didn't think about it that way.
Yeah, I just thought about it when we were watching in there.
I like that.
Yeah,
I like that a lot. But so obviously she gets a tip to go to the furniture store, but obviously he didn't use the furniture store. He said an Irish pub. Like that, pretty much Hauser was talking in code, which I love. If you guys could see what Cameron's face was, he was just like, "What's happening?"
I don't.
I would have never got that.
I would not be able to be a cop.
Just
Let
for
me
that
just
alone.
say that if somebody said, "Hey, the shooter's behind you," I'd still be like, "Basketball?" Or
I'm sorry. What?
is it?
Are we
what
talking
happened?
About, we're talking about the Kardashians, right? That's what we're talking about.
Shooter McGavin.
Yeah.
No,
MacGyver? What?
And this talking in code? No way. I would
That was
never be able to pick up on this
It was
stuff.
so ridiculous to me because I was just like, okay, so he's talking about Irish pub and food and things, and she's like, okay, so you're talking about the furniture store on this corner, and it's in this and that, and then you're gonna need more of a knife. You're gonna need more than a knife and fork to get through it. And I was like, what?
Even
and she was
after
like,
they go to the place and they start breaking through the walls and stuff, I was still like, where's the bar in this place? And then after a few minutes, I was like, oh, it didn't even go. Okay,
we're not even in a bar. Not
what does
even
the guy
close.
have to do to get some fish and chips? That's what I was thinking.
Oh, no, don't do that. Every time we're on this after show, someone brings up food and I'm hungry.
Sounds really
Did you notice? There was only one choice of food in this whole episode. It was that salad
pork
that
rinds.
she ate. And pork rinds. Damn it, I did forget about that.
What?
The salad that she had at the end.
Is that a clue?
No. Remember how we were counting how much food was happening?
Yes.
Oh,
I thought you were giving me a clue like something was going to happen.
No.
It's like, well, here we go again.
See, you're terrible with clues.
I'm horrible with them.
I was just giving it to you straight that we've been talking
my
about
God.
since episode 1 that there's always food in Laura's hands.
Always eating.
And there was only 2 instances of food.
She had something else from the vending machine that...
Did she?
She got Hauser pork rinds, and then she got like peanuts or something.
I thought she was eating like Rolos or something.
She might have been. She might have been.
It looked like chocolate, so I was
probably
like,
Rolos.
what?
Yeah.
I was like, who eats Rolos anymore?
I mean,
no,
not me.
I was like, don't give me that. So obviously, her and Jake find the bodies of Sarah and Gary, and her hunch was right that they were framed, and Thomas Mullins stashed the money somewhere, and he's going to find it, or whatever. So Jake and Laura get into a little mini fight about her hunch and how he actually kind of made it more personal about him, like, oh, you forgive your captain who tried to kill you, but you can't forgive me for cheating on you. And I'm like, those are 2 different things, but I get why you bring it up, Jake. It's all good.
It makes sense, but it's also like,
it was kind of petty.
We just found 2 bodies though too. I mean,
I agree with you. I'm kind of like, is this really? Is this what you want to talk about right now?
Yeah.
Right now. But I mean, I guess he was just freaking out, I guess. But
classic
whatever.
Jake.
So,
take some blood thinner, calm down.
I'm glad we didn't get to see. He hasn't been taking his medication since he admitted that he was taking
He wasn't
them. So
popping it like Tic Tacs in this episode.
It looked like little Altoids in a little case. It's just like,
I love how in this is just a random thought.
Here we go.
This is what happens when James isn't here.
Yeah,
I just start going off the rails.
It's all your fault, James.
But in shows, I think it's so funny when they pull out a pill bottle and they're just like, I gotta take my pills.
Oh, and they
It's like nobody does that ever.
Someone has to sit there and like take a breath and like think about it
when
first.
When did I take this last?
Okay. Did
Directions.
I take this? I gotta read this again. Can I take this with food?
Do not take after eating Hot Pockets. Oh, then I can't. I'll have
Caliente
to wait.
pocket. Sorry. And so, but yeah, I mean, I'm thinking of like my grandmother who has like that row of pills, and she has to like sit there and be like, okay,
Right.
open,
Exactly.
hold them out like peanuts, and,
And
then
then-
grab a
you're right.
giant glass of water, and then
Exactly. and then they're just like, go.
yeah, like
What?
it's like I don't know. I hear you though.
you
I
guys
completely hear
eating?
you. I'm like, come on, guys. No, he thought it looked like an Altoids pack. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, he's taking Altoids.
Are they Razzles? You can't just put them in
I
your mouth.
missed Razzle. Sorry, just brought it back for me.
Think they dissolve and turn into bubble gum?
Oh man, stop it! Stop bringing
How
up
about
food.
Razzles, right?
Stop it. Okay,
Razzles.
so
I
Razzles.
forgot about those until it came out of my mouth.
Somebody needs to send me some Razzles. Okay, so Laura obviously takes the time to go visit Hauser.
Yeah.
And she actually comes up short, except that she tries to give him pork rinds, and he's like, you know, I'm gonna be on the John, and I'm like,
be stuck in the jar.
it's like that's
Like,
attractive.
Jesus, man.
Thanks.
TMI.
That was a little much.
You know, Laura, every time you give me Fritos, I have explosive diarrhea. So good to see you. It's like, what?
It's like,
But
thanks.
again, a code, allegedly, that I
Apparently so.
definitely wouldn't have gotten.
And then so she shows up after hanging out at the jail. Apparently she was there all day because
Yeah.
all of a sudden we see her at a bar and it was a cop bar that she goes to very frequently with all of her buddies.
Do these exist? Cop bars?
Yeah.
They do?
Yeah, I don't know where, but it's a thing.
Okay.
It's a thing. But I don't know. I think it might just be a television thing and maybe someone's like, why don't we have cop
Yeah, we
bars?
should
And then
have a
just
cop
made
bar.
a cop bar.
Okay.
I would love to go hang out at a cop bar and also
be
not want to hang out at a
Yeah,
cop bar.
simultaneously want to go and also will never.
Maybe if there's a fireman and woman
Fire bar?
fire bar. I don't know.
I hope not.
They only serve Fireball. Like that's
oh,
it.
wow.
That's
yeah.
it. Just
Fireball and water. And
yeah, that's it.
And
That's
it's
all you
just
can have.
Dalmatian stuff everywhere.
Just, can you imagine Dalmatian
God.
decor everywhere? Oh,
my
this must be
God.
a firefighter bar. Interesting.
My goodness.
So much spots. It's very spotty. So I'm terrible at puns. So obviously we see Meredith and Billy having a shot of, I'm assuming it's tequila, and they're having, and like she has salt on her hand, and he's like, feel free, to just lick it off my
Yeah.
neck, and I was like, excuse you.
That's when I was like, they better be a couple because that's very uncomfortable if you're saying that to a coworker.
That's what I'm saying. I was like, how many
Holy
shots?
crap.
How many shots in are you for you to actually say that? Because they didn't look very drunk to me. And they
No.
were giggling, and she's like, in front of 50 cops? Yeah, that's not gonna happen. Like,
Yeah.
I was like, whoa, Meredith, slow your roll. Let's be professional, okay?
50 cops? Oh my God. Whoa! Whoa!
Like, attack. Like,
Jeez
it was
Louise.
ridiculous. And then, of course, she's like, all right, you guys have been terrible since you guys were a couple. And it looked like they had like a heart attack simultaneously. And they're like, oh, I don't know what you mean. What? What do you mean? No, we're not a couple. And she's like, yeah, okay, whatever.
Yeah, they're like, it's Kool-Aid in the shot glasses. I don't know what you're talking about.
It's just sweet tea, vodka. So
Fun dip. It's fun dip. I'm gonna lick fun dip.
no one
off
should
of him.
ever. Oh God, no one should like fun dip off of anybody. People out there, fans, viewers, children, don't do it.
Do it.
No, don't listen to Cameron. He's a terrible,
Do
terrible influence on people. So obviously, Jake. I need to ask everybody how this Jake situation happened because he seemed saucy at the bar.
Doesn't he?
And then he tried to dance with Laura just
Like, hey.
because he was real creepy.
whoa,
Does anybody else feel real creepy? I mean, it was adorable to a point, but at the same time, I was like, you should
Let me
probably
just say, you don't
Barkeep,
do that.
cut him off, please.
Exactly. You don't
think
do
he's had
that
too
in a
much.
place where nobody's dancing, especially to your ex-wife.
No. There were people dancing,
Was
but they
there?
were really drunk in the very corner.
That doesn't
dancing.
count.
There was music. I mean, I can never tell in TV shows if the music is actually playing or that's just part of the score. Have you ever noticed that?
Oh, yeah. Sometimes it's a hard line to draw.
I didn't understand because remember when she walked in and that guy was sitting there doing one of these numbers and she's like, okay, and then walked off. I was
Turns out he was just doing it. There's no music.
he was just that drunk and it's just quiet and everyone's just like, Okay.
Guy's a weirdo.
But yeah, he was dancing with Laura, and of course she's like, it's not a dance, it wasn't a dance, and I'm just like, why was there dancing anyway? Guys, if you can tell me in the chat or tweet us at Torres890, the only camshaft, what is Jake trying to do? I understand that we've had this flirting game for quite some time, and we all saw that she was kind of feeling it. A little bit. She was feeling it. There's a little smirk at the end of that while she went home and slept. Or apparently she hasn't been sleeping recently. But I don't know what Jake's endgame is. I don't know if he actually wants her back and that's why he's complaining so much, or he's just being Jake. I can't tell.
I don't know.
Since as you're a first-time watcher, what is his actions?
I think he really wants her back.
Okay. All right. I was just curious.
Yeah, but I could see the case for the other one as well.
I don't know. I don't know what Jake's endgame is. I mean, I'm happy for him because,
totally.
he knows what he wants, but I don't understand what his endgame is. But anyway,
either.
So obviously we got to see, if someone can help me with her name, that would be great. The nanny who was there, she was from the first season. They went through a hiring process to help find a nanny, and they hired her, and she's the sassiest nanny I've ever met, and I love her.
Is anybody in the chat room saying anything about the nanny?
Diane has said Jake is trying to get back with his ex. Thank you, Diane.
Oh, thank you, Diane.
Thank you, Diane. And sorry, I just felt like a newscaster saying your name. It's beautiful.
Thanks, Diane.
Now,
back to you.
Or he wants her forgiveness, just period. That's what Diane said. Those were her two options.
Yeah, that could be it too.
I mean, because she was pretty hard about. That was not the right choice of words. Stop.
Whoa.
That he was really pushing to find out why he can't, why Laura can't forgive him, and I understand that might be something that like could keep you up at night. But I mean, how long have they been divorced for now? Like, this is ridiculous.
They've been divorced for approximately a long time.
Yes.
And so I don't.
Yeah. A long time. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. But if anybody can tell me the nanny's name, it would be so helpful. But I love her, and I'm glad that she's back. And she's like,
She seemed like a fun character.
Did you get laid last night? And she's like, no.
Did you get some?
Yeah, and I love how like she was like, okay, so you're either thinking about something nasty or you did something nasty. And I'm like, those are the only options I get?
So
I don't get a third, like an option C? No? D, E, F?
No.
Gotta go through the whole alphabet.
But while they're there, there's a news report.
And we find out that Mullins and Hauser have escaped. And I was like, what? How did he get? Laura, what did you do?
Now, I think it's interesting. I feel like I could be very wrong.
Nope. Please tell me.
It's pretty hard for people to escape prison nowadays, right?
I would think so.
You don't hear about this happening often.
I give it up to TV Land.
I give it up to TV Land too.
TV Magic, something.
But it's interesting that they're still going with this type of thing.
Because technically this is. I was gonna be like, oh, maybe it's set in a different time. I was like, no, we have iPads and smartphones and iPhones and things.
If anybody can escape a prison, it's somebody who's put a bunch of people there. So maybe there's still some validity to it.
Look at you.
Just saying.
Gosh, I don't understand your brain sometimes. That's awesome.
I don't either.
What? But no, so Laura and Jake show up and they try to figure out what happened. Obviously, all the guards are super suspicious of Laura because she was there yesterday and just happened to ask some questions about a case that he used to work on. And then, again, 24 hours later, he breaks out of prison.
Yeah.
And she bought a power drill, and then, okay, this is where I have to do my Santini rant. Alexis Santini rant hour. Santini was being a witch with a bee.
What is her deal? Like, how many times does Laura have to actually do something great for you to stop doubting her?
Every single case so far that we have seen so far, she has solved. She's been right with her gut, her hunches, whatever you want to call it. But she's never on her side.
Never. She took her badge away from her.
And her gun, and like sat there and she benched her.
Yeah.
Because she thought, oh, you bought a power drill. How did you know that? Oh, I ran your credit cards. I'm sorry.
Wow,
I didn't
that's
know
an
you
invasion
could.
of privacy.
Well, I mean, thank you, Alicia. Thank you, Diane. Diane is on it.
Diane.
Thank you.
On it.
Thank you so much. But no. And yeah, Santini's just like, oh yeah, I ran your credit cards. I'm like, okay, I know that you're a captain. I get that. You know, whatever. You're the head honcho of the precinct. I just didn't realize that captain means I can invade all of my coworkers' privacy. I didn't even know that was legal.
Apparently.
I'm not a fan.
Apparently.
Thank you, Mr. D-Style. Nanny Alicia. I got it. But like, she's like really pissing me off now, like after that. And I love how Laura just like threw her little pen cup over and like in a fit. But I was sitting there and I just don't, like if you could read my notes, it says Santini benched Laura and this is a bunch of bullspit. Can't say the actual word.
It's a bunch of bleep.
Yeah, a bunch of those bleeps. A lot of bleeps involved in my notes. But
Santini
I'm done with her.
Is getting on my nerves because I want her to be a character. And right now she's not really.
She's kind of just flat for me.
And again, we've been over this before. Great actress. But I want her to be used more.
I know. I mean, it's weird because she flips a lot. Like, she'll be extremely angry and disapproving. And then at the very end of the episode, she was just like, you did good work, Diamond. This one just wasn't, it didn't work out on this one. We'll keep fighting. We'll keep looking. And I'm like, what the hell? So all of a sudden,
wait a second, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, so now you're all gung-ho to help Laura because she actually had a correct hunch? What?
Yeah.
No. I don't know. I don't like her. I like the actress. I don't like this character.
You know what else I do like?
What do you like?
The podcast.
This podcast?
For this show.
Really?
Which, by the way, you can find and subscribe in iTunes. All you have to do is click on the app. Search for AfterBuzz TV Mysteries of Laura. Hey, while you're there, subscribe to all the other shows. There's several billion, I think. I think we do several billion shows, don't we, Alexis, at AfterBuzz TV?
We do like roughly over like 200 shows a week, and then all together with all three channels,
crazy.
It's like 400 to 500.
And while you guys are there, subscribe to our show. Hit 5 stars. We'll take 4.5 as well. Comment, subscribe. Let us know what you think, and tweet us. #ABTVMOL. And let us know what you think of the show. You can find our Twitter handles probably on the screen below right now, and after the show we'll repeat them as well.
Yep, and also you can still use the ABTV Mysteries of Laura because I still have that one up on my TweetDeck.
Oh, great, there you go.
So either one works because I have them both.
TweetDeck.
So, TweetDeck, it's awesome.
Yeah.
I love it. So Laura gets suspicious, thinking that they got inside help. And because Hauser's a very charming guy and loves to talk, she thinks that he was not schmoozing, but he was talking to a female guard person and was just, having someone help him out. And we found one, and she was going to leave with him actually, or meet up with him after they broke out.
Essentially,
Vicky Lynn
admitted it very quickly.
Vicky Lynn liked Dan because she called him by his first name. I was like,
"Oh, Danny boy."
Oh, Danny boy. She decides to buy him some tools, and that's when I was just like, you blew it. You blew it, Vicky.
Once you buy somebody tools, you've
Vicky, sorry.
You're in it. You're in it as far as you can go.
So she says that they're leaving for Canada, and she was supposed to meet him when the coast was clear.
And Jake slaps her with a 7 years in jail. Aiding and abetting criminal. That's a long time.
Yeah,
for buying a power drill.
For just buying a power drill and maybe something to just dig all the dirt out. Like that's, oof. I love it because everybody in the chat actually does not like the captain as well, so we're all on the same page. I love it, Diane. I just wanted to go somewhere else, just somewhere. But Audrey said the captain is annoying and disgusting. I hate female in power who acts bitter for no reason. I agree with you,
Preach
Audrey.
it.
Get it, girl. Hit the bricks, Santini. Nice. That's a great hashtag. I can read you guys this stuff like all day, but. So Laura actually doesn't believe that he went to cold Canada, and he has talked about being on a beach and drinking, island liquor and rums and things like that and just hanging out. And so we find out, or he would rather be in Mexico or anything like that. So my notes are all over the place. She asked for Jake to go back into
the cell
to go see if he can find anything else.
Which I thought was interesting because she said, hey, go back to the cell and search it as if you're looking for something that somebody on our side would leave us. The criminal.
I would have never thought of that.
No.
Yeah, because they were only looking for someone who was trying to escape. That was it.
I think it's an interesting concept that you go into that situation with any train of thought, let alone, like, I would go in and just, there's a crumb, I would not go in going, okay, what would a criminal put somewhere. Like,
Yeah.
I wouldn't think that was
Like
a
the
thing.
fact that when he was like, oh, and the blood, there's bloody tissues in there, and because they've known each other for such a long time, she's like, oh man, his allergies must be terrible.
Yeah.
You know, always kicks his ass and this and this. And then he's like, well, pollen can't really get in here. And that was the first thing I had thought of, because I have terrible allergies. Like when spring season comes around, I am a very unattractive person. It's just sneezes and Kleenex all over the place and Claritin. That's it. That's how far my date night goes. And when he said that, and I was sitting there going, I didn't even know that pollen or any type of dander could get in. Maybe someone else could have brought it, and maybe that's why he was sneezing. But when when he said that over the phone, Laura goes back to seeing his fingers being all bandaged up, and I was just kind of like, so what? He cut his fingers? He was bleeding so much? Why would he need so much tissue?
I did think it was weird whenever she was there talking to him, and he's like, my fingers.
Yeah, when he was like,
my fingers.
tapping
I'm
on
like,
the...
okay, man, chill out.
Because like he kept doing this with his fingers, and I'm like, I'm sorry, if I had paper cuts all over my fingers, I wouldn't be tapping anything. I would be like...
Yeah.
I'd be like, what is it, Superstar? Where like she puts her hands in it. Like that's where I would be at. My hands wouldn't move until they healed up. But no, apparently this guy went all the way through, cut his fingers, and wrote a message on his wall and wiped, like kind of like patted it down so that he wouldn't wipe the message off, so that it would only be caught up in black light.
Yeah, I've done that before. I've done that before.
Have you? You sending secret messages to your Tinder followers?
There's some in here on the brick walls in his studio.
Lord have mercy.
Look out for it.
Guys, don't do that.
It's
Don't listen to him.
interesting. He writes Charlie.
Yes, and I was sitting there going, is it a person? It's a lady?
I assumed that it was.
Yeah, and then she's like, not who, Jake, where? And I was like,
where, you idiot?
I'm like, what?
Charlie Sector, you idiot.
So yeah, that was what it was, the Charlie Sector.
Yeah.
Where the furniture store was before, and this is where they were convincing stupid Santini to help them out with their investigation. And she had a lot of proof, which was awesome. And Mullins actually owned a building with the bodies in it, and Laura is, again, always right. And
Always
I love how
right.
Max was just like, and Laura was right. Like,
Always
great.
right.
And they went through it. They had 6 buildings, and they said the money has to be in one of those 6 buildings because it's on that same block. And so they send in tactical teams to look into every single building, and there was nothing there. And this is where Santini was like, "Oh, it's okay, Diamond. You did a good job. We just missed it. We'll keep looking.
You know, we'll get you dinner after."
Yeah.
Like, what? Come on.
I was like, "Really, Santini? Get out of here!" And so Laura gets in the car. She's upset. She's sitting there smacking her steering wheel in anger, and she overhears on the police radio?
On the radio, yeah.
And here's that there was a petty theft.
Yeah, it's like a
Real
petty
close.
theft second in Wilchester.
And then
I poop you not. I sat there and I was like, I guess this is going to be a clue, I'm assuming?
the
What?
best part
What's the best part?
is when they're like, yeah, it's a petty thing. We'll take care of it. And then she's like, Sergeant, I'm a detective here in my sector. Tell me.
I know. I was
like,
just like,
wow.
whoa,
Oh,
Laura.
dang.
All right, Laura.
Laura,
We get it.
yes.
No, she
Power
meant
trip.
She meant business. That is exactly what was happening. And she goes into the store, and because she heard pork rinds in the list of things that they
Pork
stole,
rinds.
which was I think it was like plastic bags, some tools, and pork rinds. And I was
Yeah.
like, oh man, he must have been hungry. Oh,
Yeah.
good for you, buddy. Pork rinds will not get you
I
anywhere.
imagine the 7-Eleven clerk was like, okay, you're stealing pork rinds?
Really? Why pork rinds? Why just one
come on.
bag? One bag of
Yeah,
pork
a
rinds.
single bag of pork rinds.
That's ridiculous.
Wow.
And then so she goes into the store. She runs straight to the bathroom because we all know that Hauser is not a fan of pork rinds. And she finds a unwrapped packaging, liquid eyeliner packaging. And I was like, that's a weird thing to just have in there. But maybe a girl just wanted to, fix herself up before a hot date. I don't know.
Yeah.
In the middle of the day. And she realized that he must have left another clue for her.
Which, by the
and-
way, I was just hoping that she wasn't going to find a clue
know.
and that we would just cut to a scene where Hauser's running and just is wearing eyeliner.
That would have been great. I
really
would have been
wanted
like,
that.
oh man, your eyes are on fleek.
Yeah.
So she sits there and she looks around, can't find anything. She looks through all the She looks through toilet paper, she looks through paper towels, she looks underneath the sink, underneath the mirror, and she looks at the toilet, and I was just like, no, where would he write that? And I didn't think about to check the
lid.
Yes.
Yeah.
And she lifts it up, and it says 22 Rivington. And I was like, okay, maybe that's where they are. And
sure enough,
they were there. But
and that's where I got to hear my "Drop It Now" line again.
Hold on, we're almost there.
I was so happy to hear this
almost
twice.
There. So Mullins is there putting the money, or giving the money to Hauser. Hauser's putting it into bags, and then he pulls out looks like a pistol or a handgun or something like that. I don't know if
Mullins does, yeah.
Yeah, Mullins does, and is about to shoot Hauser because he's like, I'm taking all the money with me. Thanks for letting me out.
D-bag.
Bang. Well, I mean, I saw that coming. I was like,
for
I don't
sure.
think when Laura said earlier that it doesn't make sense that Hauser was trying to get an appeal and then just breaks out of prison.
Yeah.
So we found out that it was mostly him being forced to go. And Mullins is not happy because he got caught because Laura was supposed to wait. But we all know Laura never waits. She's there too. I mean, but I love how she did apologize. Technically,
she did, a little bit.
She was like, "Oh, sorry, Jake," and like jumped in there.
Yeah.
And what did you think? Obviously, I know that your favorite line came up, which was epic. Like my skin, I know. Got
I like
goose
how she said it
pimples.
too. She's like, I don't really. I'm not in the mood for counting, so I'll just say, "Drop it now." And
yeah,
then,
because she was, she's jittery, is what she said, because
Yeah.
she hasn't slept. So.
But then Meredith and Billy.
Yeah, I mean,
come in.
and again, to bring that all back, Meredith and Billy were kind of having some issues because Billy understood that Laura almost died during the last time they encountered Hauser, so he was being a little bit overprotective of his girl in the situations, like when they were doing a search for him in the woods, I guess.
Yeah.
And they found pieces.
That was weird.
Wasn't it weird? I was like, aren't we in New York? What woods are we looking at right now?
Is this the amount of people that this is like a missing children's case, not... I don't know. I
mean, technically, this isn't. There's two escaped felons. One is a deadly.
I guess, but I mean, do people all walk in a line through the woods very slowly when they know they're probably getting very far away? I don't know. I don't know.
I mean,
Could
sure.
be wrong.
I have no idea. I'm not a cop. I wouldn't know.
Well,
I just wanted to be friends with those bloodhounds because
I
they
am
looked
a cop.
adorable. What?
Bloodhounds, yes.
No, you can't dissuade from the. Okay, but yeah,
Keep
so
the bloodhounds
were
close by. They'll
they're
help you out.
adorable. But yeah, he was having some issues, and obviously Meredith was not having it. She's like, I am your. Well, I guess we'll get to that. But so Billy got the drop on it, and of course Laura, sat there and was kind of glad that she didn't have to shoot her captain, because she's like, I don't want to be the reason that you die. And I was like, God, this is intense.
Getting deep.
Intense. But everything's fine. It was a clean shot, Billy said, and Meredith was just like, "Better cut the crap, okay?
Yeah.
I am your partner."
I like that line. What did she say there again?
She said, I might be your girl, but I'm also your partner. I stand beside you, not behind you.
Not behind you. That's
And I was
great.
like, smart.
That's a good one.
I mean, it makes sense. It's like, hey, you can't treat me differently now because we're dating. Like that shouldn't be.
Yeah.
That shouldn't be a thing. And I completely agree with him, because I'm like, you guys have done countless of dangerous cases before, but just now because, you're smashing, that you have to change
That's a good
it
way
up.
to put it.
I mean, I don't know how else to put it. I thought that was the
You're
classy.
going 20-toed.
Nice.
You know.
If you don't know what that
change
means,
things.
kids, look it up, Google.
It doesn't change things.
But yeah, so obviously, he found that very attractive, and they had a moment.
Yeah.
And that's how I know for a fact they were totally doing it. And then we also had a very touching scene with one of my favorite songs, or one of my favorite artists, I guess I should say. Ed Sheeran's Photograph was playing through a very touching scene between her, Laura, and Hauser,
yeah.
because Hauser knew he's going to be in jail for a very long time.
I
he's
like
going
that
to
scene
die.
quite a bit.
I was getting a little misty-eyed a little bit, because I love that song and it's perfect.
I'm just glad that Hauser was the good guy. Like,
I
he
agree.
didn't do something where he goes, yeah, I got you again.
I thought for a fact that they
know?
were going to switch it up, and then Hauser was going to hold Mullins.
Something, yeah.
And then I thought that Laura would have to shoot him.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking about. I was like, that's a little too dark.
But instead,
I mean,
they wrapped it up and put a little bow on it for us.
Yeah, and it was rough. But the one thing I didn't like, which I'm glad that you pointed out while we were watching, was during that beautiful song, they cut back to the building, and then all of a sudden it's like they're singing this beautiful melody, and you can hear Ed Sheeran's beautiful voice, and then 2 dead bodies.
It's like the
screen.
song is literally like, it's gonna be okay.
Yeah, it's like
And
something
it's
really pretty, and then it's like 2 dead bodies.
Okay.
And I was just like,
crispy, nasty looking bodies just sitting
You
there.
didn't have to say crispy.
It was like, seriously.
It was kind of weird. And then they obviously put the bodies on a stretcher or like a bag or something. And I was just like, oh, God, this is really weird to
Yeah.
me. And then they cut to the kids having the clean necklace and saying like,
So
oh,
weird.
that, your mom had both your names on here. Isn't it great? And they like held on to it and it was a cute
It's
little
gonna
moment.
be okay.
Yeah. And I was like, what the hell? And then we cut back to Laura sitting down at her desk, and she finally admits why she can't forgive him is because she feels that moment happening.
Yeah.
And all the feelings and everything that happens just rushes back to her, and she said she's working on it.
I feel you, girl. I feel you.
Yep, same here. And Jake was just kind of like,
100% understandable.
and then this is where I was like, Jake, come on. When may I?
Oh yes, what happened?
When literally he just goes, and then walks
It's a buddy
away.
tap.
And I was
Give
like,
her a buddy tap.
why?
was
You
very
guys were
weird.
married. You had children. You guys were intimate. Like, that's a thing. You guys were married.
At least give
And
her a
you-
side hug.
I would have taken a hug.
Yeah.
I would have taken that. But no, he decided to put a hand on the shoulder. I was expecting him to put like a pat on the back, maybe even just like a
Little fist bump action.
yeah.
Handshake.
Thanks, kiddo.
Hey.
Thanks
here's
for
looking
thinking
at
about
you.
me. Like, thanks,
He's
champ.
looking at you, kid.
Little chin nudge.
Yeah.
Little boop. Like I would have. That's what it felt like to me, guys. I don't know how you guys felt about it, but that's how I felt.
It
And I
was
just like-
weird.
but all around, what did you think of this episode? And how, as a new watcher,
I thought it was a good one. I like seeing Laura. Well, first of all, I like seeing her a little bit more emotionally invested in the case because of her past, and I was excited to see her go a little crazy.
Mm-hmm.
It was fun. Jake, he'll find it.
I don't know what's happening.
Something will happen.
I don't know what's happening.
We'll see if Chef Guy comes back though. We'll see.
I would like to, because now I'm confused now because
Very
Jake
confused.
is like using everything in his arsenal to like get a little schmoozy with
Yeah,
Laura, and I'm
yeah.
like, you do understand she's still in a relationship with Chef
Right.
Boyardee there, and like, come on now. But I don't know. Still want to know if you guys are Team Jake or Team Chef Boyardee, because I don't know his name,
yeah,
guys.
let us know.
Because I would really like to know how you guys feel about this. Because I mean, technically in season 1 he was a little playful, but I feel like this is much stronger.
Yeah.
I can't wait to ask James what he thought about this episode.
Yeah, I know, me
'cause
too.
I'm sad he wasn't here because I think he would have had a lot of
He'll be
things
back
to say.
soon, right?
He'll be back next week.
Okay, good.
Yeah, so no worries. So you'll
Good.
get your James Lott Jr. action.
We'll get a little James Lott Jr. We'll see what we thought of this episode.
But let's get into predictions because I want to talk about the
my.
next week's episode.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV prediction.
Tony, that's his name. Tony is the Chef Boyardee guy. He's Tony.
Chef Tony RD.
Yes.
So predictions, I think.
go for it.
I think that there's gonna be a little bit more development with Jake and Laura next week.
I think
it's
so,
not
too.
just gonna be the what are we doing? What happened? This happened. I think we're gonna actually see a step forward. Whether it could be in either direction, but we're gonna
Right.
see that take the next step. I think we're gonna continue seeing some tension between Meredith and Billy, and I'm hoping that
You
next
think they're gonna
week-
break up?
I don't think they're gonna break up, but
Okay.
they're gonna continue having speed
Issues.
bumps.
Yeah.
And I think they're going to tell everybody next week, too.
I hope
And
so.
make it public.
I hope so.
appreciate
So what we saw from next week is, oh man, I think I'm actually forgetting the preview a little bit. I can't remember actually.
It's a media mogul.
That's
who-
right.
yeah.
There's a guy who's a media mogul who's pretty much putting Laura in the spotlight, and he's kind of a douche canoe a little bit. So that'll
should
be
be an
interesting.
interesting one.
But I think that's also where we're gonna see a lot of maybe Jake.
Yeah, he'll step in.
Yeah. Or just like, oh, so how come that you were dating some guy named Chef Tony, but you're with you get to work with your ex-husband? How's that all about? And then it's just
Right.
gonna create drama.
Right.
And yes, so, sorry, I'm just reading whatever's on here. But yes, his piercing blue eyes. Thank you, Mr. D style. But yeah, I feel like we're gonna get a lot of relationship drama next week because of all the
definitely.
media stuff. Because that's technically how media handles a lot of relationships. They kind of throw it into a negative frenzy. Excuse
Yeah.
me, negative frenzy about
Negative
everything.
frenzy Nancy.
Yeah, thank
Yeah.
you. And I feel like that's what's gonna happen. But I am really interested to see what James thinks next week.
Oh, me too.
Because we didn't get to get his input.
Definitely.
I also missed his laugh today.
He'll be back with it next. We need to have it on the soundboard on standby.
We should just have a James
for
laugh.
when he's gone.
Yeah, that'd be hysterical. But guys, you know what? Also, I would miss you guys.
Oh,
so
I know.
much because this is it. This is the end
That's it.
of Mysteries of Laura episode 4. Thanks guys so much for hanging out with us. Diane, Audrey, Mr. D Style. I think there was somebody else in there. Nope, that was just the 3 of you guys. Really appreciate you guys being there in the chat and hanging out with us. Don't forget to go to iTunes, look up AfterBuzz TV, leave us a comment for Mysteries of Laura After Show. Also find all the other shows that you love. Make sure you leave a comment and rate and subscribe on youtube.com/AfterBuzzTV. Thank you guys so much. Cameron?
Yes?
Where can they find you?
Oh, you can find me Twitter, Instagram at The Only Camshaft. I'm at AfterBuzz Monday, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays. And starting next week, October 22nd, I'll be doing the show Netflix and Chill for the Popcorn Talk Network, one of our sister networks here at AfterBuzz. Alexis Torres, how about you?
You can find me all over social media as Torres890. You can also find me doing a bunch of shows here at AfterBuzz. This is like my 5th show this week, maybe my 6th. But I'm doing a lot of animation stuff like Guardians of the Galaxies, Transformers, things like that. I'm also doing another crime show, Castle.
Nice.
So definitely did that. I was doing the Muppets and a couple other things as well during the week. But don't forget to see our other sister networks, Black Hollywood Live, Popcorn Talk, which is where Cameron's face will usually be at. I will be on Black Hollywood Live. And you can find James Lott Jr. at Black Hope LA. That's BLAK Hope LA.
Oh, yeah.
Guys, you're amazing, beautiful people. Stay nice, stay safe, and we will see you guys next week for episode 5 of Mysteries of Laura. Bye-bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.